Hi guys, welcome back. So I got a request to do a video on my favorite makeup brushes. So I'm going to go over today kind of my go-tos, the ones that I find myself reaching for all the time. And then I also wanted to go over just sort of the basics. So if you were just getting into makeup or just starting to follow makeup tutorials, kind of like the essential brushes that I think that you need to be able to create pretty much any look. So the main thing that I wanted to say is that you do not need to spend crazy amounts of money on brushes. So with that being said, I will get right into it. So honestly, I've been finding myself going to these brushes more than anything else recently. Because I'm loving this set so much, I thought I would kind of go through this specific kit with you, and then I can kind of compare these brushes to the Sigma and the Real Techniques brushes that I've picked up. In my opinion, this covers almost all of the basics in terms of what you would need to get started. So the first two brushes I have here are your kind of more powder brushes. So this one is a little bit smaller than I would generally like for a powder brush, but it'll definitely do the trick. You can use this for setting your powder, you can use this for bronzing, and then you could use both of these for blushes. I've been liking kind of a bigger blush brush recently just because it puts less color down at once and you're not having to work at blending it out so much. Generally, what I would go towards is my Sigma brush if I was going to be setting with powder. So that is this big fluffy one here. You can see that it is quite a bit larger. So, I mean, that's really coming down to preference. You certainly don't need this one. This one here is $28, so it is a fair chunk when you consider how much you get for the whole set in the Morphe brushes compared to just this one, but I do really love this brush and it's definitely been a go-to of mine. Next we have these two brushes here, so hopefully you can kind of see those. These two are smaller and they just have a bit of a different shape. So this is a little more dome shaped. It fits super nicely to do contour. It really like wraps around your cheekbone. You can get under your jawline, along your chin. This one is a bit flatter on the top and it's shorter in the brushes. So I've been using this for my highlight actually, and again, it just fits so nicely. It really deposits a nice amount of color. So doing a comparison to the Sigma brushes, again, this one here is the F35. It is more of a tapered brush. I had been using this all the time for my highlight. It's also a really nice shape to be able to set your under eye. It kind of like sits right up in there and you can get right up along your lash line. The next two in this set I'm really loving. I've been using these again every day. I've been pretty much using all of these every day, as you'll see. This is just a really nice fluffy large brush. I've been using this to set my under eye concealer with the kind of banana colored powder from the NYX contour and highlight kit. So it fits really, really nicely under your eye area. You can kind of dab around your nose if you are getting like greasy throughout the day. This would be awesome to throw in your bag and just kind of apply powder where you need it. The next one here is very similar. It's just a bit smaller. This one I've been using a lot to do just a wash of color all over my lid. After I use my eyeshadow base, I've been using that and it literally pretty much takes up your whole lid, so you can get like a really beautiful wash of color in just a couple sweeps. Now we're getting to the important ones. So these three brushes here are again from the Morphe set, and they're more your blending brushes. I love that this set comes with the three different sizes of blending brushes. So it has a really fluffy one and then kind of like two smaller ones. I love having more than one blending brush. This will put a really nice deposit of color for a transition shade, and then you have a couple smaller ones to be able to work with and really get in your crease for a little bit more detail. So this is super awesome to have these. I think having blending brushes specifically are an absolute must in terms of getting the makeup look that you want and being able to blend things out the way that you would like to. If I was to compare this to the Sigma brushes, this one here is the E25. Sorry, it's a little dirty. But this was definitely my most used brush before I had gotten this Morphe palette. So again though, I really find myself leaning towards the Morphe ones. This brush in particular is $14, so it's not too badly priced. It is fairly reasonable, but it's going to be doing a similar thing. The next two in this set are kind of smaller shader brushes. So again, you have a couple sizes. I love that they did a really good range of having a couple brushes in each of the different sizes or styles. So this one in particular I used today to kind of really get in the crease and kind of carve out the shape I wanted, and then I went back in with those fluffier brushes to blend it out. This is just a larger shader brush, so it's really great for depositing color onto the lid Again, if you were just wanting to do like a wash of color, or if you're depositing a lot of color, you want something that's flatter like these, as opposed to the blending brushes, which aren't going to deposit as much color. It's more for diffusing the color. This is more for depositing the color. So again, I think that it's super crucial to have at least one kind of flat shader brush in your collection in order to get the look that you're going for. The next little guy here is a concealer brush. You could use this both for a concealer and a lip brush. The only thing I would say about this is it is quite small, so it's great for little details, but in terms of like getting in under your under eye and stuff like that, I just find that it takes too long. I kind of bring mine down, and to have such a little brush is just like too time consuming. So generally the one that I use, I honestly have no idea how much this costs. I think I got it in a kit, but it's the Bare Essentials one. And if you compare in size, it's obviously quite a bit bigger. So I lean towards this one for sure, but this would be super great. Again, if you're just starting out, this kit is so good. It's still gonna do what you need it to, but if I had one complaint, I wish it was a little bit bigger. In terms of having a lip brush though, then this is awesome. I don't use lip brushes all that often, so it doesn't really matter to me, but this would be perfect to kind of work double time for you. So next we have this little tiny pencil brush. Hopefully you guys can see that. Again, I think it's really crucial to have more of a pencil brush in order to get right up under your eye. Anytime you're doing little details, kind of like getting deep into the crease or creating a little bit more depth in your crease, having something smaller is really awesome. I really like the Sigma pencil brush. So again, I'll show you the difference. There we go. I like that both of these brushes are tapered, so it makes it really easy to get up in along your lash line. And because they're tapered, if you have your color kind of on the point, then it's going to place it really close to your lash line, and the rest of the brush is almost blending it out for you. Next, I have this angled brush here. It is super thin. It's a really good little angled brush. I think having an angle brush is another essential in your kit in terms of being able to do either a winged liner if you had cream, doing your brows. You could use powder along your lash line just to kind of smoke it out a little bit or give you the appearance of a thicker lash line. Also, if you were to do a cut crease, which has been kind of popular these days, it's really nice to be able to use a nice thin brush like this to kind of create the line that you want and then build off of that. This little guy I was super excited to see, but to be honest, I haven't used it yet. So this would be a liner brush, and it has a bit of an angle, so you can kind of like get right up in there. This I'm sure would be great for kind of experimenting with doing the inner wing like I did in my last video. I'm really looking forward to using this, but I don't have much to say about it yet. This brush set in particular did not have any brushes for your foundation, so there's a couple different things you could do with that. If you're just starting out or you're on a budget, you can always just get a bag of those little sponges. The beauty blenders are really great, but they're quite expensive. My kind of favorites that I use all the time are these ones from Real Techniques. So they're both duo fibered brushes. They just blend everything really nicely. They give kind of that airbrushed effect. I use both of these kind of interchangeably. I go back and forth between using these mostly depending on what's clean. As you can see, I need to clean my brushes, but Real Techniques is an awesome brand. The nice thing about the Real Techniques ones as well is that you can get them in stores. Walmart carries them. I've seen them at London Drugs. I'm not sure, I don't think they have them at Shoppers, but a lot of their kits you can get like 3 or 4 brushes for around $20. This duo fiber one is $10 online, so they're super affordable. The way that they've created these brushes is so smart. So you see how long this piece is here, so that helps with when you are washing your brushes that this part doesn't get wet and then separate from your brushes. I'm sure you've all had that where the top falls off. So they were super smart in how they created it. They have lasted me quite a long time, so I can't say enough about Real Techniques just in general. So that is it for today. I hope that you found this video helpful. Again, I will link all of the brushes that I talked about in the down bar below so you can check them out. If you did like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It means so much to me. Thank you so much for watching and all of your continued support, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys. I've been doing a lot. This one I've been brush set. this brush set